Have you ever thought about how strong some of the Marines in One Piece really are? I mean, after all, some of them are fairly dubbed as monsters. But which of them are actually the strongest? Today, we'll be ranking the top 20 strongest Marines in One Piece history, beginning with number 20, Kujaku. This may come as a surprise to many of you, since this Marine is only a Rear Admiral in rank. However, what separates her from the other Rear Admirals like Hina or Prince Groose that we were recently introduced to as well is one crucial detail. Kujaku is the granddaughter of Suru. So if we are to assume that strength runs in the family, similar to what happens in the Monkey D family, then I believe it's fair to argue that Kujaku has yet to display the full extent of her powers. After all, we only saw her appearing in only a handful of pages so far in the story. As far as ability-wise, we don't know all that much about her, other than the fact that she consumed the Muchi Muchi no Mi, a paramecia-type devil fruit that allows her to use whips in order to command anything she lashes, including objects. The sole reason we rank her that high is the combination of her being part of Sword, as well as her being the granddaughter of Suru. But why is it so important that Kujaku is the granddaughter of Suru? We'll get to that in a bit when we analyze just how strong Prime Suru really was. Plus, it's not like we have any other major Marine excelling for his power to be placed over her. Number 19, Lance. Now, this dude does not only wear a face protector made of steel, he also has, well, another body part made of steel. Why do I say that? Well, please tell me how many people in the entire world do you think would have the courage to attack none other than Whitebeard head on? And all of that while 1, Whitebeard was as pissed as it gets due to Ace being about to be executed. 2, Lance attacked on his own without even bringing backup with him. I mean, damn, you're not attacking a random rookie from wherever, you're attacking the strongest man alive. And 3, Whitebeard had just arrived on the battlefield. He had no injuries and was ready to go all out. And even with all 3 of these in mind, Lance attacked him head on. If this does not prove how fearless this guy really is, then I don't know what does. Yeah, alright, truth be told, Whitebeard did destroy him like it meant nothing, but still, Lance is actually a Vice Admiral and is also a giant, which naturally comes with strength and endurance that is several times greater than that of an average human. Plus, it was stated that all Marines ranked at Vice Admiral and above were able to use Haki, so there's that as well. Number 18, Jaguar D. Saul. While being in the Marines, Saul held the position of a Vice Admiral, and being a giant on top of it means that Saul was surely quite strong. He was originally believed to have died while protecting a young Nico Robin from the Buster Call that destroyed Ohara, having been frozen by fellow Vice Admiral Kuzan. Even though it is true that he proved to be completely powerless against Aokiji, this is only natural. As we'll explain in a bit, while being a Marine, Aokiji was a true beast. But back to Saul, it was stated that he possessed almost unbeatable strength, which as a matter of fact, was indeed greater than that of most giants. I mean, hear this! He could easily lift a Buster Call ship up out of the water to slam it back down and destroy it. And let me remind you of something. A Buster Call ship is several times the size of a giant. Saul's durability was immense as well, brushing off explosions from direct cannonball hits, and even being able to survive being completely frozen by the, at the time, Vice Admiral Kuzan. Number 17, Smoker, the White Hunter. As a Marine Vice Admiral and the commander of the G5 Marine base, Smoker is indeed quite strong. Yep, it is true that throughout the anime, Smoker got, smoked by quite a few opponents, but Smoker surely came a long way since then. Smoker is a formidable combatant, and on top of his sheer strength, his Logia Devil Fruit abilities set him apart from most Marines of his rank. Before Luffy came, it was said that pirate activity in Logtown had dropped down significantly since Smoker's arrival, a testament to his competency. After the time skip, Smoker's physical strength has become significantly more powerful, being able to grab Law's neck with one hand, or even slice through a rock twice his size with a single blow. His devil fruit, the Moku Moku no Mi, allows him to create, control, and transform his body into smoke, meaning that unless his opponent knows how to use Haki, then they're completely done for. When it comes to Smoker using Haki now, well, after the time skip, he can use both armament and observation Haki. Number 16, Dahl. Dahl is a Marine Vice Admiral and commander of the G14 Marine base. She is one of the 9 Vice Admirals that took part in the siege of Egghead Island. You see, when it comes to her abilities, she was seen to be strong enough to damage a Mark III Pacifista with a single kick. Truth be told, however, our estimate on her power is an estimate, since shortly after arriving at Egghead Island, a Buster Call was activated, and as a result, all Marines were ordered to evacuate the island, with the exception of Kizaru, that remained alongside Saturn to fight the Straw Hat and their companions. Number 15, Sentomaru. Sentomaru is the bodyguard of Dr. Vegapunk, and is in command of the Marine Science Unit. During the time skip, he became a full-fledged Marine officer, but was later branded a rebel for allying with the Straw Hat Pirates during the Egghead Island arc. Sentomaru claims to be a world-class guard, and you know what? He's not wrong. I mean, not many people can stand in the way of an admiral like Kizaru, and even though Sentomaru was eventually overpowered, let me tell you that this encounter solidified the claim that, yeah, Sentomaru is an insanely strong guard specializing in defense. Sentomaru is one of the few people that has direct control over Pacifista, not requiring a command chip to give them orders. His authority is only superseded by that of the 5 elders, Dr. Vegapunk, plus his satellites, and Bonnie when it comes to Kuma's Pacifistas. As a child, Sentomaru was capable of defeating a group of wild bears that were a major threat to his village, which is another testament to his abnormally high physical strength. To top it all off, he seems greatly proficient in both observation and armament Haki. Number 14, Drake. Drake is the captain of the Marine Secret Special Unit Sword, and an undercover member of the worst generation. Drake ate the Ryu no Mi model Allosaurus, an ancient Zoan-type devil fruit that allows him to transform into a full Allosaurus, and a human Allosaurus hybrid at will. Even during his youth, he was the strongest member of the Barrels Pirates, and he later achieved the rank of Rear Admiral in the Marines, prior to his public defection. He is a member of the worst generation that survived one of the 7 harsh and dangerous routes through paradise, the first half of the Grand Line, earning a bounty of 222 million berries before entering the New World. You see, Drake is an extremely formidable combatant. He stopped a fight between 2 other supernovas with just 1 move, effortlessly defeated a super rookie, and was one of the few pirates on the Subodi archipelago capable of injuring a pacifista without outside help. According to Kozuki Sukiyaki, Drake single-handedly defeated the 5 samurai who guarded Amigasa village and destroyed the town. During the raid on Onigashima, Drake defeated the drunken ancient giant Juki with a single attack, and despite having lost his battle against the CP0, his sheer toughness was still highly praised. But yeah, even he was proven to be powerless when attacked by Nami's happiness punch. I guess men will be men, no matter how strong they are. Number 13, Gion and Tokigake. Okay, here we give these 2 characters the joint position for a very simple reason. Despite not knowing much about them, what we do know is that both of them are vice admirals, and both of them were considered to be prime candidates to become one of the new admirals. So despite us not knowing much about them, it's fair to guess these 2 must have had considerable strength, enough to make them candidates for the place of an admiral. Number 12, Kobe. Kobe is currently a member of the Marine Special Forces Unit Sword. And yeah, I know, you're gonna say Kobe's pretty weak. Well, to that I would answer that not many Marines in the world are capable of doing what Kobe did. I mean, his hockey-enhanced punch was powerful enough to break apart Avalo Pizarro's island hand, a feat almost comparable to that of his mentor, Garp. Due to his harsh training regimen under Garp, as well as further gruesome training in his spare time, Kobe has developed superhuman physical prowess and attributes, such as strength and speed, capable of pulling off one of the Rokushiki techniques, Soru. He's also shown proficiency in using both the armament and observation hockey while in battle. Number 11, Green Bull. Okay, now we really start getting serious, as from here onwards, the characters presented will be at the level of admirals, if not higher, in battle. Green Bull, along with the other admirals, are thought to constitute the world government's, quote, greatest military power, making Green Bull one of the world's most powerful combatants. Both he and Fujitora were stated by Doflamingo to be known as powerful monsters among the Marines. Green Bull effortlessly defeated King and Queen, 2 all-stars of the Beast Pirates, with bounties of over 1 billion berries, and several of their subordinates. Yeah, it is true that most of them were exhausted from their fights with the Straw Hats, but still, this feat is mad impressive. You see, Green Bull ate the Mori no Mi, a Logia-type devil fruit that allows him to create, control, and transform his body into plant life. The plants he creates can be grown rapidly and move around freely. Naturally, being a Logia, all non-hockey attacks are still harmless to him, and he will regenerate from any damage. Interestingly, he regenerates by sprouting out of the ground and growing back into his normal self. These all sound pretty impressive, right? So why don't we place him higher? Well, because as soon as this guy saw Shanks, he was trying to find out where the exit door was to leave Wano. Number 10, Fujitora. I know you guys were looking forward to this, which is more than I can say for Fujitora, since, you know, he can't really see and everything. Well, just like Green Bull, Fujitora is also an admiral, and let me tell you, this guy means business when fighting. Despite being blind, Fujitora can handle himself in combat against some of the most powerful figures in the world, due to his other acute senses and observation hockey. Fujitora's physical strength and fortitude are immense, befitting an admiral. He was able to defend against and repel powerful attacks from the likes of Roronoa Zoro, Sabo, and Luffy, as well as clash with them with little to no visible effort. Oh, and did I mention that this guy can summon friggin' meteors? Well, you see, Fujitora ate the Zushi no Mi, a paramecia-type devil fruit that allows him to manipulate gravitational forces. The ability's range of effect can potentially span wide areas, even entire islands, and is primarily channeled through his sword. Number 9, Prime Suru. Suru is one of the major figures, along with Kong, Sengoku, Shiki, Silver's Rayleigh, Monkey D. Garp, and Whitebeard, from the times when Pirate King Goldie Roger was still alive. Suru's remarks have twice caused Doflamingo to admit that he cannot get the best of her. And damn, this version of her is 66 years old. Imagine her at her prime. Suru ate the Woshu no Mi, a paramecia-type devil fruit that allows her to literally wash and hang out to dry people and objects as if they were clothes, turning them flat and malleable like fabric. This disables the opponents by rendering them unable to move. Number 8, Zephyr. You see, Black Arm Zephyr was the supreme commander of the Neo Marines, as well as a former Marine admiral and instructor before his resignation. He was the main antagonist during the One Piece film Z, so it's still up for debate whether this guy is actually canon or not. Alongside Garp, Sengoku, and Suru, Z was one of the most powerful Marines of his generation. In his time as an admiral, he was powerful enough to stand against even Goldie Roger and Edward Newgate, men considered the two strongest pirates of the age. He had tremendous skills in hand-to-hand combat, using both his physical prowess and haki, as he was seen being able to follow Kizaru's movements despite his breathing problems. He was able to go toe-to-toe with Admiral Kizaru several times, and later showed extraordinary stamina by stalling Kizaru, several vice admirals, and an entire battalion all by himself before ultimately dying in battle. Number 7. Prime Sengoku. Sengoku the Buddha is a former fleet admiral of the Marines, succeeding Kong and preceding Sakazuki. Sengoku ate the Hito Hito no Mi, modeled Daibutsu, a mythical Zoan-type devil fruit that allows him to transform into a giant golden Buddha and a human Buddha hybrid at will. As a Zoan, Sengoku gains an immense boost to his already impressive physical abilities while in his Buddha form. Despite not showcasing any observation, armament, or conqueror's haki yet, it is almost certain that he has access to all 3 of those haki forms. After all, in his prime days, Goldie Roger considered Sengoku among the only few Marines capable of giving him a good fight. And now we get to the most exciting part of the video. Why? Well, the next 6 character rankings are as controversial and debatable as they get, especially when it comes to positions 5 and 6, 3 and 4, and 1 and 2. For positions 5 and 6, we have Aokiji and Kizaru. But who goes where? Well, hear me out. After Sengoku stepped down and a new fleet admiral needed to take over, the 2 candidates were Akainu and Aokiji, leaving Kizaru out of the possible candidates. With that in mind, I think it's fair to argue that Aokiji needs to be placed higher than Kizaru. Number 6. Kizaru the High Marine. Kizaru ate the Pika Pika no Mi, a Logia-type devil fruit that allows him to create, control, and transform his body into light. Among other things, he is able to move, travel, and perform kicks at the speed of light, shoot laser beams, and blind his opponents. Kizaru's mere presence on the Subodi archipelago was enough to cause a mass panic, inducing its pirate population to flee. Truth be told, thank God Rayleigh appeared, because otherwise, God Usopp was ready to take down Kizaru. During Marineford, Kizaru was seen fighting several of Whitebeard's division commanders on equal footing, including the Emperor's right hand, Marco, and later against Whitebeard himself, whom he was able to seriously injure. His melee attack style utilizes incredibly heavy kicks via his ability to move at the speed of light, allowing Kizaru to easily demolish entire buildings and incapacitate pirates worth over 100 million berries with single blows. Number 5. Aokiji. Aokiji, better known by many as Kuzan, is one of the 10 Titanic captains of the Blackbeard pirates, and the captain of the 10th ship. Before joining Blackbeard's crew, he served as a Marine admiral, having been taught by Monkey D. Garp. He was nominated by Sengoku for the position of fleet admiral. However, after fighting Sakazuki for the position and losing, Kuzan resigned from the Marines. Kuzan ate the Hia Hia no Mi, a Logia-type devil fruit that allows him to create, control, and transform his body into ice. Kuzan's physical prowess is immense, befitting his former admiral position. His strength is particularly notable, having developed massive punching power from years of training under Garp since his early Marine days. Like his mentor, Kuzan would use retired battleships like sandbags to train up the force of his punches, while not permitting himself to use his devil fruit powers or haki. In Totoland, Kuzan managed to ice up and thus defeat Charlotte Cracker without much trouble, while in Hachinosu, Kuzan managed to subdue Garp and left him on the ground impaled with a massive icicle. And now, moving on to the next debatable set, we now have to compare 2 fleet admirals, one former and one current one, Kong and Akainu. Alright, so hear me out. We don't know much about Kong, but we do know that he was active during Sengoku's and Garp's prime days. When it comes to Sengoku, Kong was chosen as the fleet admiral, while Sengoku was only promoted to an admiral, and thus Kong should be considered stronger than Sengoku. When it comes to Garp, Kong tries to make Garp an admiral, but Garp repeatedly refused. The reason was that Kong was probably trying to have Garp succeed after him, but as we know, Garp played by his own rules. Since Kong has yet to show his full strength, we will place him below Akainu for the time being. So number 4, Kong, the former fleet admiral. While he was the fleet admiral of the Marines, he had absolute control over the organization under the world government. Aside from his political powers, his muscles and numerous scars suggest that he is physically strong and proficient in combat. Given his name, it's not unfair to theorize that he could have also consumed the mythical Zoan Saru Saru no Mi, model Wukong. And if that's true, then this would definitely make him incredibly overpowered. Number 3, Akainu the Donut Maker. Sakazuki ate the Magu Magu no Mi, a Logia-type devil fruit that allows him to create, control, and transform his body into magma. His magma is extremely hot and highly explosive, thus making it well suited for combat, allowing Sakazuki to burn, melt, and destroy anything in his path. In fact, among all devil fruits, Sakazuki's is said to offer the greatest attack power. His raw physical strength was enough for him to go up against and clash evenly with Whitebeard in close quarters, the quote, strongest man of the world. Perhaps most impressive, however, are Sakazuki's vast durability and endurance, best illustrated by how not even 2 successive point-blank quick punches from Whitebeard, one of which, by the way, split the earth in 2, were able to kill him. Not only did he survive, but he actually returned in battle as well, with seemingly minor injuries. And finally, we reach the top 2, where once again we have a debatable ranking. Given that we don't know the full extent of either of those characters' strength, at least in the forms we are considering, depending on future reveals of the story, this ranking might soon have to change. But as things are right now, here is how we rank them. Number 2, Monkey D. Dragon. You see, in recent manga chapters, Dragon revealed that he used to be a Marine, but he later left the Navy to become a revolutionary instead, because he did not agree with the Navy's idea of justice. Although his individual combat abilities are largely unknown, he is able to command extremely powerful army officials, like his chief of staff Sabo and the 5 commanders, who have all been seen battling and defeating notable pirates and Marines in the Grand Line. While at the Goa Kingdom and Logtown, strong blasts of wind have occurred in close proximity to Dragon, which have helped him accomplish his objectives in both places. It remains unconfirmed if Dragon was directly responsible for these wind blasts, or if he has a power enabling him to create them due to an unknown devil fruit. Even though, as you saw, we don't know much about his full strength, the way he is presented gives the impression that Dragon is among the strongest characters in One Piece. Number 1, Prime Monkey D. Garp. Now let me tell you from the start, it was not random that Goldie Roger considered Garp to be his main rival. From what we've seen during Roger's prime days, Roger, Whitebeard, and Garp were on a whole different level than anyone else in the world. We don't know much about Rocks and some other mysterious characters, but still, the point is that Prime Garp was on the same level of strength as Prime Whitebeard and Prime Roger, and that should be more than enough to show you what a beast this man was while young. Even as an old man, Garp is still among the strongest characters in the world. Check out this video, where we present 25 most popular moments that became viral memes in the One Piece anime. Go on, click it!